when they could take 50% of the Immortal, for example. So well done, and as you said, good shot calling on the side of Fnatic too.
Now, something to consider about this, a little bit of a tidbit, is that Blomby, who used to actually play for Team Liquid, is actually coaching Fnatic now. And on our website, playheroes.com/esports, you can find out more information about that as he's coming in here and helping Fnatic kind of figure out their strategies and evolve as a team and, of course, become a little bit more cohesive. He's been there for a couple of weeks, but official interview and such is now available on the website, and you should definitely check that out.
There's a lot of great articles. There's a very clever auto attack build on Falstad by Snitch that was applied last week. You can check that out too. There's fantastic stats as well on the website. So if you go there and you go into a team profile, then you will see a few more stats about maps that teams prefer, heroes that they like to play. So give it a look, and that has been added recently too.
And if you like healing buildings, there is one hero that has Mule available, and you can find out there on the website.
Right?
No, don't worry.
I'm sorry.
Let's go to background number 2. Caldor just ruining your free moment to figure out which hero has Mule.
Oh,
yes,
it
was
a quest?
It was a quest, man. I was trying to set them up on a little adventure, you know, give our players a little bit of a quest to go on and find a solution. He's ruined it.
You're going full Lilia with me.
Can't believe it, man. Cursed Hollow. Second battleground for us. Cursed Hollow. Might get more of a splash this weekend.
Actually, not only this weekend. Cursed Hollow has started to be picked up a lot. It's still the second least played map in HGC Europe, with now, this is the 12th game that we're going to see on the map. Braxis has been only played twice, but Cursed Hollow has actually picked up a fair amount of games in the last few weeks, so teams are willing to play it a bit more often. The macro aspect of the map is important, but of course also boss and zone control, since this is the only map that has 2 bosses that can be played.
Yeah, I like Cursed Hollow because it really comes down to how well you can read your opponent, right? If they disappear for a couple of seconds, okay, what are they doing? Are they getting a boss here? What's their composition do? Do we just go for a blind boss ourselves because they've been gone for a little bit? Little calls like that really make me appreciate the shot calling coming from our team, so we'll keep an eye on the double boss play that can happen on this battleground. Also,
we are having more and more success with Phoenix in HGC Europe. Of course, in the previous series, it was a little bit more memey than what we are seeing right now, but Phoenix has been played in the previous series once, and that was a success for Robodoba. Now we have Fnatic with another victory in Phoenix, and that puts him on 11 wins and 7 losses, so slowly and steadily.
Part of it is him
getting... for Phoenix are improving.
Part of it's him becoming available in the top lane. Like, him actually being a top laner is a major threat. Now, we have had him on the Assassins for the back line, but him being flexible and being picked up in that second, third slot and deciding where he should go is a good tool to have.
That was a really interesting setup, though. That was very interesting to me, because from Fnatic's perspective, on a 2-lane map, it made perfect sense. You want the strong 4-man, and for that you want Zarya to be there. So who else are you going to send to the top lane? You could make an argument for Greymane to try and hold his own for a while, but I really like the approach with Phoenix. The question is, can you employ that on another map as well? Can you, for example, use that on a 3-lane map and have him as a solo laner for an early game duration? I kind of doubt it, but I would like to see the attempt.
I'm trying to remember which team we saw yesterday. Was it Dignitas that had Phoenix in the top lane? We had another team that played him in the top lane, but yeah, he's definitely coming into a niche scenario where in the top lane he can be kind of annoying. We'll see if we get more of that throughout the series, or maybe more in the HGC. As we head into our draft, Malfurion and Blaze picked up for Fnatic, Hanzo picked up for Team Liquid.
Now, again, we have Malfurion now taken for Fnatic. First of all, through the previous game, we have Smexy now even improving his stats on Stukov, so once again marking himself down as the best Stukov player in Europe, at least in HGC League play. Hanzo has suffered a loss on Team Liquid side, but they still believe in his power and the way they play around him, so they're going straight into an early pick on him. But that Fnatic already goes straight for Blaze shows that they are really trying to get some additional sustain, and this is now a fantastic tool for them through any kind of boss fight, and of course tribute fight as well.
And you just have safety in that top lane, right? Like, this is one of those battlegrounds that if someone dies in a lane, you might lose out an entire wave of experience because there is a large rotation that you have to go through to head from your middle lane to the top lane. So Blaze gives you that safety to be able to just soak it.
Stukov and Garrosh now picked immediately. So this is what Fnatic opened the last game up with, and this time Team Liquid is trying to make the same play, basically just flipping a hero over into the silence and playing around that. So far, Liquid has... Actually, they have a fair amount of games with Stukov, more than I expected. 16 games with him. That's more games than any other team has with Stukov in HGC Europe, and they have 9 wins and 7 losses.
When we came into Part 2 Phase 1, Stukov has played a lot by Splendor, really showing how strong he was after the Western Clash, of course, Shad showing him off. So we had a lot coming in from Team Liquid. That's what they started to get their wins. So definitely someone that they have a little bit of experience with. Fell off a little bit more into Uther.
It's actually really interesting to me because together with Hanzo, ever since Hanzo got introduced into the game, he has been involved in 32% of Team Liquid games, or played in 32% of their games. And the same is true for Stukov. So those two are the 2 heroes that are played the most by Team Liquid, which is really interesting to me. Didn't even pick up on that until now, that they have such a high play rate with Stukov here too. Dehaka banned, so Fnatic's currently a bit curious about, okay, what happens if we're going to run into Global here against us. Now keep in mind that especially with Quacknix we could still see Falstad being played, so that gives you a bit more boss control and it gives you a Global. So another hero that we haven't really talked about when it comes to global perspective is Abathur.
Yeah.
Abathur is also still open.
That's what I was going to bring up when that Dehaka ban came in. Fnatic suddenly trying to give themselves a better advantage when it comes to just global control in terms of the waves, but as mentioned, Abathur is still up and available, and Abathur can work out for Team Liquid pretty well here. Abathur hat on top of the Garrosh is always a great choice, being able to soak whatever Fnatic might be picking up. If that Falstad does come into play, having an Abathur just to body soak is always a good tool.
Liquid played Abathur 5 times. Only Zealots played Abathur more often. We have Fnatic with a few Abathur games. They have played him twice so far, and this is a really good map for Abathur. It's one of the maps where Abathur was continuously banned out as an early ban here. Same is also true for basically any big map. When we have Towers of Doom, one of the first bans is usually Abathur. But Team Liquid is a bit more worried about that Diablo play that we have seen from Breeze in the past. So now there are still other tanks, of course, open for Breeze. Could go into his ETC. We could see him with Muriton. Even Johanna would be a pick for him.
I thought Tyrael for a second, but Tyrael into a Stukov is a bit scary. Being silenced when you're trying to pop off the Sanctification can be an issue. It's still accessible because you have Blaze, but it's just a matter of what Fnatic believes they can handle. Here's that Li Ming we were asking about, and the Nubrak, which is becoming a little bit more popular against Garrosh.
Yeah, and Li Ming is a hero that we've talked about in the previous map. That's where I really could have seen it for Mina, but of course the Zarya strategy put a bit of a stop to that. Now we have him on one of his favorite mages, A again, not quite Kel'Thas, but still there. Good reset potential, of course, for them. With the Nuburak, also, you're now guaranteed that with Li Ming in your setup, the Cocoon isn't getting burned down as quickly as it could be if Li Ming was on the other side. But also, again, the potential for maybe even one-shots. If you're seeing Greymane as the last pick, that would be even increasing that situation. For Quacknix, there's still Junkrat available. We could see, I mean, there's a lot actually. Medivh, Junkrat, Greymane, and you could go into Falstad. So 4 heroes that would fit well into that composition and that you could play depending on what Team Liquid chooses now.
So we have decent wave clear already here for Team Liquid, but I'd like to see a little bit more, especially in that side lane. Thrall being available is one that you can go into with the Echo of Elements. We've been seeing that a lot. Also, this might be an oddball pick, but Arthas could be okay here. It's a little bit odd. We haven't seen him in a while, and he can suffer against Li Ming. We're going to get that Tyrael and Genji, though. Tyrael will be our side laner, here only for the Significations, and Genji to help out with dive if they get that Hanzo arrow.
Now, that immediately makes Falstad a lot less attractive, because there's more potential to jump in and try and blow him up, which leaves us with a potential Greymane pick still for Quack. Because up to this point, I expected Falstad. I really thought, get the global in, try. He loves to play around the Mighty Gust. You have the disengage potential. If on the other hand, let's say Garrosh, for example, gets a good flip in or anything happens, it's a bit more boss control too. But against Genji and Hanzo, it's going to be very tricky to make that Falstad a success, to make him impactful in a way that you can actually like dominate these fights and have really, from a utility perspective, an impact on them.
You definitely play much more reserved. We have seen Falstad and Genji before with Snitch, using Mighty Gust to just try and lock down that Genji, especially post level 20. Now, is this something that you can consider on this battleground? Because it was Regenshire, I don't know.
They still go for it.
But they still go for it, so it is a possibility. You can build a little bit more defensive, get that Lightning Rod shield at level 4.
Now, I'm still really interested in how this is going to work out, because once that I saw the final setup for Liquid, in my head, it was immediately, okay, go away from Falstad. Before the double pick happened, I was just like, yeah, Falstad fits really well here. Boss control, you have the global, you get a lot of tools that really work well for you. But once Genji appeared, it was like, now it starts to become a bit tricky. You have Hanzo just the entire time pushing out the damage, a lot of it a bit more on the random side, but as long as he gets some damage on Falstad and then Genji jumps in, then you're in trouble on the bird. But Quark apparently with the confidence here and saying like, yep, even with the setup that they have and even against Genji, I'm absolutely fine here and I can still make these plays.
Well, with how cohesive we've seen Fnatic lately, I can see it working out. I said, hey guys, all right, I'm going to pick Falstad here. I have the money Gust available. If we have to disengage and we want to do boss control, just protect me. And they have protection. They have Blaze, they got Bunker available. They have Malfurion Roost to make sure that Genji can't go too far and you can play around that spin and make sure you don't get picked off. So it's available here for Fnatic. It's just, we're a little bit worried because, again, Genji, if he ever does catch Quacknix out of position, Quack is dead.
And Fnatic, when they really excel, they usually have some combo set up. Some kind of one-shot potential, or as we saw in the last game, a combo. Here they are heavily relying on Mene since they're trying to get those resets and then Li Ming can absolutely pop off. That's something that can work for them. But still, I feel for Team Liquid, this is a bit of a better setup now than what they experienced in the last game, where they just had a lot of trouble playing around Garrosh and Stukov from Fnatic's side.
Well, let's go ahead and head straight into the game here. Game number 2, Fnatic taking on Team Liquid. Fnatic is up 1-0.
Game number 2, Fnatic is in the lead and they start to the left with a Breeze on Anubarak. We have Mene on Li Ming, Quacknix in this case on Falstad. He's on the bird. Blaze played by Bad Benny, and we're seeing Smexy this time on Malfurion.
On the right side in the red, Team Liquid. Hasselhoff's back on Hanzo, Eternal playing Tyrael, Nurok on Genji, Splendor on Stukov, and Sport Billy playing Garrosh.
Billy on Garrosh now, and he's of course known for his performance on the hero. So let's hope for Liquid that they're going to make the series interesting by Billy again popping off here. Currently, when we're looking at Billy's performance, he is second in HGC Europe only to JPL. JPL has a 7-0 track record on Garrosh, whereas Team Liquid has more wins with Garrosh, 9 wins in total, but they also suffered 2 losses. But still, very impressive performance by Billy, and he's of course going to try and synergize that with Stukov, making the same combo happen that Fnatic showcased in game number 1 with a quick flip into the silence.
Sport Billy really puts the game in his hands when he has Garrosh willing to find those picks, really similar to what we saw on Breeze, and that's kind of what Garrosh does, man. It allows for you to have those playmaking moments. Nurok comes in for a nice little Swift Strike, hits both Quacknix and Smexy, puts some decent damage there, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
With Genji against Falstad. Falstad turns around, puts out one auto attack, but before then, Nurok's putting out his own auto attacks and also dropping down the shurikens.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the issues that Quark will have to face, especially later on, of course. So with the quick damage against him, he's going to be one of the main targets for Genji. But talking about targets, Nurok himself finds himself in trouble for a second. Eternal also going deep to help Nurok out here, but that's a heavy pressure play still that we're seeing at the top. And with Falstad in that 3-man setup, they can of course always rotate someone onto one of the other lanes with the global that Quacknix has. But you can tell here how they're currently playing it. I mean, look at exactly how is Liquid doing this right now. They have problem with Genji. They might actually still lose Nurok, but the idea is that Eternal jumps in and puts a few auto attacks and just a bit of damage onto Falstad, because Falstad is the primary target. Once that Eternal or anyone else gets him low, even just a bit, that's the moment, the opening that Nurok waits for and can move in with Genji to try and secure the kill.
Yeah, and he's trying to bait out that Malfurion route, Eternal is, so that way Genji can move in, be on Falstad without any issues. But Smexy is playing this really well, playing it smart, waiting for Genji completely. He's gotten him a couple times, locking Genji on top of that Malfurion rope. So Smexy, again, just making sure that Falstad is not having an issue. Quack having a lot of trust there.
Save the bird, win the game. That's the MO here right now. Again, Nurok coming in. Missing actually out on the Swift Strike, not getting too much. Smexy, on the other hand, ready with the heals right away.
Level 4, where Genji's going to be able to have a little bit more damage. Remember, strike at the heart. Being able to hit the end with that Swift Strike, but a little bit more damage on top of that Falstad. Falstad actually going for hammer gains here at 4, instead of going for the Lightning Rod, so feeling that protection from Malfurion. Yeah,
also a bit of a different build for Breeze now. With the Nerubian arm on level 1, he went into the Shed Exoskeleton on level 4, so it's all about the movement speed increase here. Now, we oftentimes have with the traditional dive comms a focus on the burrow charge, trying to go for the increase, but he doesn't really do that here. So the idea is not to dive just like into the opponent's backline and do the damage here, having someone else dive with you, but it's really just him trying to be a bit more mobile and also add a little bit more survivability probably later down the road with additional talents.
Makes it easier also to stay away from Garrosh, not to get hit by the Groundbreaker, dance around him as he needs to. Fnatic heads down here and starts to set up for the Temple, while Falstad's in the top lane, exploiting that global advantage they have here.
And it's fantastic for them, because they have the camp there too, you know? Falstad can clear the wave, and then he can fly down, and the camp is going to do the damage. And he's going to stay at the top lane, because that was a great kill by Team Liquid. Getting the snap kill against Malfurion really worked for them, as long as they keep Garrosh alive, but with the Indomitable on the side of Sport Billy, they can move away from this. Mane with a bit of poking happening, but that's of course the money kill right there. Yeah. Taking down the opponent's healer in such a situation is just perfect.
Yep, especially when it's a healer that brings poke available. The Moonfire should be enough to help out with the tribute. Taking him out there was the key to getting that tribute, and Team Liquid is able to grab it, with Eternal doing his best here to stop Falstad, who Falstad is actually starting to become a bit of a nuisance. He is pushing in this top lane really well. That Boomerang, as you mentioned, at level 7, making sure that he can clear out those waves. The Giants are still nice and healthy. Falstad actually got a lot done there.
Oh, definitely. Falstad's original idea was really just to push out the lanes at the top and then fly in to help his team out at the tribute. That's what he could have easily done. But with Malfurion dying, there was just absolutely no reason anymore for Fnatic to fly Falstad down. The call was just immediately made, give up the tribute. We can't get this one. Malfurion is down. They're going to take it. So Falstad, you stay top. You get some experience for us and try break through the structures. And that's what they did.
And you saw something that Falstad did there. Nurok was setting up to go for a gank on Genji and try and get the pick off. Falstad sat in the bush. He did not know where Genji was. Has not seen him for a good amount of time. And so you don't have to get greedy and push. He called up for his tank to come in and help out. Breeze finally shows up here, and instead of getting picked off, because of his safety play, they set up an aggressive play afterwards. Breeze and Falstad able to take out Tyrael.
And they take out the wall at the bot lane. So job well done so far by Fnatic. From a structural point, they're looking great here. And they're already working on burning down the well. And once that thing is gone, there's no lane sustain anymore at the bot lane. So that makes it an easier time for Fnatic now fighting over the second tribute.
Team Liquid brings all 5 down. Remember, they already have 1 tribute. They toss in Bad Benny. He's going to pop his Fire Minion to stay alive. Sport Billy taking some damage here as the rest of Fnatic goes for the dive. Breeze moving straight in for the fort. Drops the beetle to make sure he picks up the aggro. The broccoli here too, and they set up a second kill on Nurok.
Yeah, Nurok actually jet propulsion, and that's the kill. The double as Splendor goes down. Triple kill in total. Well played here. But of course, super important is that a Nuburak is easily able to dive into a key because he can spawn the beetles, and then the fort will attack those, has the priority on them, and that allows you to just easily fight underneath the key if there's only 1 or 2 heroes.
And the broccoli too. Broccoli will take 4 shots from a fort, allowing for you to go full aggressive. So having those summons here from Fnatic allows for them to go for those aggressive plays. They grab the tribute. They also hit level 10 off of this push, and now they can start thinking about boss plays. Garrosh already thinking about his own boss play here to the top right corner.
Broccoli is just a trooper. I mean, he's just one of those guys. You know, he's just there for the team. He delivers, he sacrifices himself there. He's a hero at heart.
I mean, he's a superfood for a reason, right?
Exactly.
Fiber,
he's like
tanking forts.
He's like a kiwi.
He's everything, man. Broccoli delivering in every form of life, nutrients, and also making sure to save life by taking his own shots.
That's, by the way, a really cool call from Team Liquid. Taking the boss here. Fnatic didn't really expect that. I don't really think they saw that coming, because there's 2 heroes that were showing on the map, and I feel like Fnatic should have kind of anticipated it, but it seems like they thought that the opponent is just currently busy on the Siege Giant camp instead, which wasn't the case. So now the boss is taken at the top. It's, I mean, it's still an early boss, but Fnatic hasn't taken boss themselves, so it's not even a trade. So a little small move by Team Liquid that gives them now an upper hand up at the top here. Kill potential down here. Sanctification. Nice save on Genji. Well done. No stun coming through. And Nuburak had to move out. Benny with a bunker. Immediately trying to secure that spot. And Mane is just firing away with the combos.
He's sieging, but they've used a lot of cooldowns here. And Team Liquid's going to force a fight. Dragon's Arrow comes out. Mane takes some damage. Big root from Smexy, though. Nurok has to use the X-Strike just to escape. We're having a lot of disengage from our teams, and while Smexy is going to top off everyone, they're also going to tap the well here in the middle. This tribute is still standing while the top lane is being pushed in by a boss, but the middle lane answered back by the Night Camp, grabbed by Fnatic.
Now, one of the important things about the top defense against the boss was that Fnatic had the Siege Giant camp, and that actually did a lot to make sure that the boss doesn't get more than the fort itself. But that brought Team Liquid on even experience with Fnatic again. Both of the teams on level 11. And again, the zoning just happening here with Fnatic firing away with a Hammerang. Quacknick's trying to get the damage in. Here comes Nurok into the backline as expected. Cocoon on him. But also Benny in trouble. The taunt comes in. The gust comes out. The bunker on the ground as they're trying to go for Genji. The stun is there and Li Ming just obliterates the ninja.
Mana finding those kills, has it reset, and is starting to look for some more. Team Liquid not going to give them the chance, so as Smexy grabs its tribute, and Fnatic, with their 1 pick, is able to secure 2 tributes and look in the middle lane. They have damage on this fort. Quack is here to ensure they get more.
Well done here in the last fight. The Cocoon and then the insta blow up by Mene, landing the full combo with the Calamity on level 7 on the target. So now they're going in once more. Breeze gets flipped here, gets actually pushed into the wall. The stun comes out, and Team Liquid, boy, what a great setup here. Nice staggered stuns in CC against the Nubarak, especially, of course, the shove into the wall here, delivering the final few tower shots and the damage that was needed to drop a Nubarak here. Liquid definitely fighting for every inch of this game. Yeah, behind, but still trying. Yeah, even dropping a couple of heroics there. Fnatic had to disengage. Had one more pick happen there for Team Liquid, they can go straight for a boss. You can't forget about that Hanzo and that scatter arrow. And if they had gotten a boss, moved into the tribute here in the top right corner, that's where they start to mount this massive comeback here. Actually, let's not even call it a comeback. They're tied in experience, 12.5 to 12.5. Fnatic about to have their Nubarak back, so they still have that combo available. But Team Liquid, they're definitely kicking. Yeah, they're definitely trying whatever they can here. I mean, certainly they need to win this series. We talked about this earlier. If they lose here, then Method is going to take the number 3 spot in the standings and therefore the pole position for the playoffs. But here comes the Cocoon again. Norok already moving in against Quack, but still not able to secure a kill here. He's low, the Sanctification comes out, and that's an important one. Nice Mighty Gust to isolate the front line, but we still have them moving away. Twilight Dream also being used. A lot of resources dropped by Fnatic as they're trying to secure the tribute and also a kill. They can't get the kill, but they're likely to... Nope, they're actually not able to grab the tribute just yet. Good interrupt by Hanzo. That pesky Sonic arrow. And Nerok should be able to come in here and interrupt too. There it is. Drops it down. Fnatic was able to grab 13 during that engage. That's actually what their plan was. Drop Cocoon and have False grab 13 with the Boomerang in the middle, and they did just that. They just couldn't quite find that kill because of enough pressure from Team Liquid, and now Team Liquid getting their own 13. Here comes the Dragon's Arrow as they go in straight to a taunt. Nature's Curo immediately being used, but it's the silence that's the problem. Splendor delivering. Blaze goes down. No chance for him to drop a bunker or get out with a jet propulsion, and Liquid with a kill, and they are able to secure the tribute, which now makes sure that they avoid the curse. And now, next point. Curse for either of our teams, and there's still a boss in the field. Remember that boss in the bottom left from Fnatic was not grabbed earlier. So a boss play, if anyone gets picked off here into a curse, could be lethal on a keep at least. Now Quacknix at this point sits at 24 Season Marksman stacks. So he has Giant Killer, he has the Season Marksman stacks, and he can now start to put the solo target damage in. He's, by the way, also the top damage dealer at this point for Fnatic, which is insanely impressive considering that there is a Li Ming in their setup. So Forza with 25,000, and Mene sits at 22k with his Li Ming. Just not really getting the resets in big team fights. He had like one earlier, but Liquid is doing a fantastic job to move out once they realize that the fight is not winnable for them anymore. No. It doesn't allow for those chain kills. Heading into this, Fnatic has Giants pushing the top, and they have a Night Camp that's going to answer back in the middle lane. Breeze immediately goes in for a fight. Misses out on the Impale, though. They really wanted that Stukov, even using Mighty Gust for it. Yeah, a bit of a lack of communication there, too. They didn't get the stuns in. The Gust came in a bit too early. So now, once more, the question, who's going to take the kills? Quacknix is low, and that's an issue, but they still have the Fountain in the bot lane, so he could theoretically go and try for a tap, as we have, again, Mene moving out, too. They need to be careful here. Pre-tabbing as they're heading into the fight, super important tool if you have it available to you, and that's a disadvantage for Team Liquid since their fort and well is already gone. But this is going to be a curse tribute, and Liquid is forced to fight here. Splendor already channeling. Breeze will have an impale to knock him off if they need to. Splendor actually starts to move forward. Remember, he always sets silence, so Fnatic has to be careful of that when they go in for the disrupt, not to get rooted down. Time is working in Fnatic's favor. There's a camp pushing at the top lane, and that is going to get a fort eventually. But here comes the arrow out as they're trying to go in again. A nice jet propulsion to stop the momentum of Team Liquid, as the silence was putting a lot of stress onto Fnatic's lineup. But they're again angling for position as the top lane is still pushing heavily. Instrumental stop there from Bad Benny. Had that not happened, Quack could have fallen. Quack is so low on health. Nerok goes in for another engage. Twilight Dream hitting 3. Tyrael also getting locked down here. Sanctification, does he get it off? He does get it off, but Heroics are being burned between our two teams. Fnatic continues to poke. Quack working in that damage. Eternal low on mana, and we have a bunker out too, just to make sure Fnatic can't get picked off. Good bunker just before Silence can come up, but Fnatic definitely having problems stacking some of their ults here. Once again, get a cool Cocoon coming out as we see the Silence coming in. Not quite the play they wanted to go for. They try to go for isolation, but the setups don't work. The camp at the top lane has by now reached the fort on the other hand. So this is Team Liquid losing another structure in just a few seconds, and this will drop extra experience into Fnatic hands, and they still have the remainder of their earlier night camp pushing through the middle. Man, they went in for an aggressive combo trying to take out Nerok. Nerok was able to back up.
up. Mane taking the chunk a little bit too as well. Stukov uses a massive shove to push everyone away. Mane is so low on health. Now finally that 4 on the top gets picked off.
The X-Strike takes him down, and he is dead. Top 4 is down, but so is the Bird, and now we have Team Liquid moving in to grab the tribute. An insanely long fight at that bot lane, just as we're seeing Team Liquid take the curse against Fnatic, moving in deep, playing aggressive. Boss, of course, can also be taken, but that's definitely an unfortunate situation here for Fnatic. Saving grace for them is there's still remainders of camps at the top and the mid lane, so the curse is not going to go do too much for Team Liquid at this point when it comes to structural damage.
This boss is being grabbed, and Garrosh seems to be the target here for Fnatic. It just gets scattered out, though. Fnatic is completely aware. If Falstad can fly in, he will have that Mighty Gust. Breeze may try to buy some time. Sanctification is not available yet, but the Holy Ground is. Eternal jumps right in, grabs the boss, and Team Liquid with the curse will have bottom lane pushing in.
Yeah, so now the bottom lane is getting pushed in heavily, but if you still look at the map, Fnatic so far has, through the curse, not really lost a whole lot. The camps in both lanes slowed it down. So that is actually not too bad for Fnatic as curses go. So as long as they can hold on to that bot lane, they're going to be fine. But of course, at this point, it's a little bit tricky. That boss is moving in, and here comes a Gust. The silence! They're trying to go for Stukov, and they get the kill. Nice move by Quacknix, but he needs to survive here.
The bunker will keep him alive, and Nurok gets chunked too. Nurok is low. He gets thrown by Sportbilly, but Sportbilly's all by himself. He's stuck in between 4 Fnatic members, 5 Fnatic members. Mane goes in for the combo. Sportbilly staying alive, thanks to that arm, but finally, the Hammering gets the kill. Now it's about defending the boss.
They need to go to the top. They can't save the keep in the middle, I think, but they need to make sure that they keep at least the keep to the top lane and defend the bot lane here as well. So now the lanes are finally pushing in. But as you see with experience, Liquid didn't really get an experience lead out of the curse for the reasons mentioned earlier. The top keep is defended, the bottom keep takes damage, but they can still take it down. And even the mid fort for now is still in play. Fnatic is starting to move to the top right to claim Team Liquid's boss.
They're starting it here, just making sure their opponents weren't on there. They did do it earlier. Breeze, Smexy, and Quacknix finally getting over here. Garrosh is up in about 6 seconds.
Yeah, it's a bit of a ballsy move here, but with now already, well, Blaze is moving in time. Team Liquid can't really fight for that, but it's gonna be close. If Team Liquid identifies it right away and Garrosh makes his way over, there's a chance. And at this point, Fnatic actually gives it up.
Yeah, they see the Knight can't get grabbed, and they're afraid that Team Liquid would come in, and with that boss only about half health, it's not worth the risk.
Yeah, you have the silence, you have the sanctification, and then once Garrosh arrives, also the Warlord's challenge. It's just a bit too much. But that also means that Fnatic just wasted a colossal amount of time not doing anything.
Team Liquid wants to fight.
Yeah, Team Liquid has the boss control. They want to fight, and they know that Gust is still on cooldown.
Fnatic controlling bottom lane. Falstad finally shows, and Team Liquid makes the call. They go straight for this boss and start poking it down. Mane goes in, drops down on orb as well, just to allow his team to see whether or not they're here, and they are. Sportbilly doing his best to anchor. Will Falstad come up and help? Falstad clearing those giants up finally.
He needs to. They let it go.
Get up.
It's too much boss control. With the arrow, I mean, silence, arrow, taunt, sanctification, and the X-Strike, there's just too much control for Team Liquid on the boss. Team Liquid would have loved to take that fight. They were just daring them. If you move into the circle, we're going to silence you, we're going to get the Hanzo arrow in, and then we're going to obliterate you. So now Fnatic once again has to defend here. Liquid is definitely doing a fantastic job to just move themselves into the driver's seat in this game.
Luckily there's some turrets here, but with Giants being stolen as well, Team Liquid has a massive push here. And remember, they can engage at any point thanks to that arrow. Fnatic have to make sure that they clear, but also be spread out so they don't get hit here with the multi-stun into a taunt. Eternal already doing his best here to control. You gotta watch out for that Holy Ground too, especially between that choke. There's that Holy Ground on Breeze, he gets locked down.
Yeah, and the Gust is there right away. Well done, but still the setup is ready. And Nubarak goes down, Team Liquid, they get the kill. And now Fnatic is of course on the back foot. Quacknix is already so low. The problem with Falstad, the low hit point pool, and the keep is about to be taken by Team Liquid. Tribute is spawning as well. The question is Team Liquid trying to end the game here? The Gust is out, they know that already. The tank is gone too, but Fnatic still has some tools available, and they're trying to go for Garrosh. The lockdown is there. Mane needs the reset. Can he get it?
Twilight Dream comes off. Mane close to another reset. Serial on the side. Jet propulsion in. Bunker being a nice haven here for Bad Benny. It continues to chunk down. Smexy on the side will have a root up pretty soon. He drops down the root to try and save a target. Mane is starting to get some resets though as he takes out Stukov.
Stukov is down, but so is Benny. Benny is dead, and they're trying to move in again. And Nubarak still has Cocoon available, so if he actually starts to dart in, he can force that fight once again. Nubarak soon going to be on the way. 1 second, but Team Liquid is already moving back again. Question is what happens around the tribute now, though. Falstad flying in deep.
Gets scattered out.
Yeah, needs to be careful. They're trying to get the tribute. If they can get the curse there, it would be fantastic. He's attempting for the kill, and he nearly gets it. The X-Strike barely able to save Genji here, as Quarknix is still on the move, and Hazops, he wants him. And with the arrow, the stun is in. Can he get the final blow, though? Eternal moves in too. Quark is still there. Garrosh falls in the meantime on the fight at the top, but the bird is down. The curse, on the other hand, will hit Team Liquid hard now.
Blaze will be back in 3 seconds. Can they get much off this? Can they get a keep? With Garrosh down for 45 seconds, Team Liquid is missing out on their tank play.
What a back and forth game right now.
Yeah. Team Liquid fighting hard for that number 3 slot. Ahead in experience, 19.5 to 20, and they're also grabbing these giants. Fnatic is looking for a fight, but they gotta be careful. Remember, not having Falset here is a big deal, especially with him being their main damage dealer.
Mid lane is also under pressure now, so they have to react to that too, and this is where Fnatic is currently making their stand. The early level 20 for Team Liquid that they're soon going to be picking up is of course giving them a great tool to defend against the pressure play that we see for Fnatic now. And Fnatic, they don't have a Falset. The front line might be missing for Team Liquid, but they still have Tyrael to take over that job for now and help out with his shields. Now the Storm talents have been dropped, and both teams still neck on neck, but it's Team Liquid who has that keep taken out at the top lane.
The call for Fnatic was just get 20 here. And they're still not there. Bottom lane pushing in, middle, top as well. Boss afterwards, Team Liquid can go rush that down if they want. Yeah, Falstad is up on the field.
They take it in the middle now, and they start going for at least the night camp. Take the night camp, save the boss, play around that. Now Fnatic is in the lead in this. Liquid, they need to win this here now. Making a reverse sweep happen against Fnatic is going to be rough.
I'm scared here. Team Liquid's actually moving in for a possible invade.
Team Liquid wants those fights on the boss.
Yeah.
They know that they have a superior setup, and they still have the level 20.
Thernal has used his Eldruin. Cocoon comes out. Boss is down to quarter health. It is early. Gust, Wind Tunnel being popped here. They're going to rush on the boss. Can they get it?
They might.
Arrow?
Nope, they can't. It's too early. They use their tools too early. They go for Garrosh. They get it. They get the boss and they get Garrosh. They get both. The Sanctification comes out too late. Fnatic might have used the, I think Cocoon and the Wind Tunnel were just a few seconds too early for them to make a perfect play here, but still it worked out since the Sanctification wasn't there and they got the kill against Garrosh. Here comes now another kill. Genji goes down and all of a sudden Fnatic is absolutely wrecking Team Liquid in every aspect.
Only 3 members left. Hazops is trying to retreat. Does he have a jump available? Doesn't look like it. And guess what? That boss starting to push down that bottom lane, heading straight for the core. We have Hanzo taken out. Eternal's gonna be next as Mana goes in for the reset. Splinter, can he get him too? He knocks him into the stun. Oh, just barely missing out.
They shouldn't even go for the bottom. They can just simply go into the middle where the keep is already taking damage through the camp. No matter which one they take though, with now Stukov also falling. This is definitely a game. Fnatic with a big fight on the boss are able to secure it. With Wind Tunnel being used and the Cocoon, they're able to get the kill. Yeah, they steal the boss, they go for the core, have to wait a second until the keep has finally fallen, but now they're going straight for it. And Garrosh, even though he's spawning in a second, is not going to be enough to finish this.
Fnatic on a boss defense are able to steal it away from their opponents, clean up all of Team Liquid, and turn around and focus the core. A close game between our teams, 14-7 in kills, but Team Liquid unable to grab the boss in the moment they needed to secure a win. Fnatic goes up 2-0.
I was actually really afraid for Fnatic. I thought a lot of these tools were a bit too early, and I would love to see that again because it felt that we had... Did Malfurion get the Twilight Dream off before Garrosh had the taunt in? Because that's what it felt like.
I was staring at Nubarak and Falstad the entire time. So I'm not sure if they got
Same here. So it seemed that as Garrosh was attempting to move in and trying to go for the taunt, and then Tyrael jumping in too after he was coming in, it felt he didn't get the taunt off.
Let's watch the replay.
Yeah, let's check that out because I think there were a couple of things that went pretty badly for Team Liquid.
Let's go ahead and check it out here. So this is right after Cocoon comes out for Breeze.
Super early Cocoon.
The Wind Tunnel to push everyone back. Now, where is Smexy? Okay, let's go ahead and watch this and fast forward. Smexy's here on the back left corner, playing it safe. So he can drop down a root where he needs to. He has that Twilight Dream Bolt, so he goes in and he hits
There's the silence. There's the silence and the root. And then what prevents Tyrael from going in faster? Is it the root? Here comes the arrow, first of all. Okay, Genji moves in. Sport Billy is just zoned out. And Eternal, he must have had his cooldown. It must have been in cooldown
the X-Strike. So Garrosh was on his way over to grab the point. Nurok had used X-Strike, and that took him off of the point, which allowed for a Nubarak and Falstad to grab it. And the stun, right before Sport Billy walked onto the point, just kept him away long enough. It was a game of a half a second.
But also, it wasn't only that. It seems like Tyrion didn't have Eldruins to jump to right away. apparently he still had it on cooldown. He was already in range and used it a bit too late. And if he's in there, I mean, look at it coming out this late. If he uses that a second earlier and gets the Sanctification in, this entire setup on the fight later on would end possibly in favor of Team Liquid. And a 5 versus 5 with Garrosh still having the taunt available and going in, they would have a great chance. But as Sanctification comes in here, it doesn't do anything anymore.
Yeah, it's too late.
The boss is already taken, Garrosh is already dead, and the bunker is out too.
And now suddenly they have to fight a boss and the 5 members of Fnatic,
but
and it's safe.
Still, the wind tunnel might have been a second too early, but it was still really well executed. They could have executed, I mean, in an ideal world, I think they would have probably tried to delay it by a second or two, but the way they executed was still well done. Wind tunnel comes in, pushes everybody out, and then Smexy moves in, goes into the corner, drops the root, so that's super difficult for them to move in, and had the silence even before that.
Yeah.
So there's nothing really Liquid can do around that, because they all had to funnel through the same choke point. So that was well done, because in a split fight, Liquid is happy to take that battle.
That was a high, intense fight between both teams. A second late here and there between both teams, honestly, but still one that Fnatic was able to snag away just barely. We'll be right back here with game number 3, and we'll see if Team Liquid can start to get this reverse sweep going.